ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Roundtable. You're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, where you're watching us over here on Broadway World on social media. I'm excited that you're here. You know, I'm fascinated by songwriters. I've been so fascinated by songwriters because I can't write a thing. How do you come up with an idea? Do you write it in a notebook? Do you sing in your phone? How do people write a song? Well, Gretchen Cryer has written songs that have been performed all around the world. Her show, which we're going to talk about from back in the day, was around for years. There's classics and standards that have come from it. And now she's teamed up. You know, I was thinking about songwriting teams, and this one literally fell into her arms, I think. It's her granddaughter. And they have a brand new album and a brand new show. Gracie Hyland is here. And I saw Gracie, you know, because there's that show about celebrity relatives on the ABC with the Jonas. I think it's the Jonas Brothers. There's the Jonas brother and then the bonus Jonas host. That's not the Jonas. You know what I'm saying? Well, Gretchen Cryer is here and Gracie Hyland is here. And we're going to talk about all of the things and where you can get your ticket. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Hey, we're so glad to be here.
I'm so excited for you both to be here. Thank you for spending time and being here. And thank you for talking about your new album. So Gretchen, my question is, how the heck do you write a song? What is this? What's the process?
Listen, the songs come out of life, Robert. They come out of life. And what you're thinking and what you're feeling.
You know, I've lived some life, Miss Cryer. I've lived a little life.
You could write a song too.
I have something to say. Now I get it. No, but do you hear the melodies? Do you hear the words? Like, how does it come to you? Do you write it down?
Sure, you do. Yeah, the words come, the melodies come. Now, Gracie is a singer-songwriter. She usually writes on the guitar. Mm-hmm. I usually write on the piano. And until this show, I hadn't been writing music for the shows because I had teamed up with Nancy Ford, who's an extraordinary musician and keyboardist. And so I always just hung back and did book and lyrics. But then I started thinking about, you know, the climate situation. And I had wanted to write a show about climate 40 years ago and had written a couple of songs way back then, myself, and the music as well. And then just sat there and nothing was coming. And then there was an interesting evolution there in that. Then just a couple of years ago, it started, I looked in the New York Times and there was this article about the last two northern white rhinoceroses on Earth, Najin and Fatu. And I thought, they are mother and daughter. What's going to happen when the mother dies? And so forth. Then I read a thing about California condors were almost extinct in 1980. I know this is a long-winded.
It sounds absurd.
But this is how a song starts, is about what I'm getting ready to say.
Rhinos.
Yeah, rhinos. And the condors have rallied, and they were down to 23 condors way back in the 80s. And the females started reproducing asexually, virgin births. So suddenly the idea for this show about climate started taking this strange turn. And Gracie showed up in my life. And she had written her own thoughts at this time about stuff, but it started out as a song called Early 20s Crisis because she was early 20s at that time. And then carry on about that.
Back ages
Gracie,
ago.
I feel you. The quarter life crisis is a rough moment.
It's a rough moment.
So you have plenty of things to write about, and Gretchen has plenty of things to write about. And before we get into the rest of what is on this album and the singers and all that's going on, I want people, while you're listening, House on Fire is available wherever music is heard. So you got to see it. And then if you want to hear it live and you want to see it at Green Room 42 with an artisan pizza and a little cocktail and a little moment out on the little turf on the ledge of the Yotel Hotel, where you could live life and
love
and come up with songs while you're out there living your life. Go to thegreenroom42.com. So my question to you guys is that, Gracie, your grandmother is quite the songwriter and has toured, and her music has been sung by some of the greatest singers of all time, and she, shows that she's worked with a songwriting partner for years. So what was it like for you to be like, I'm going to write an album with my grandmother? And how did you have a conversation? Was it just divine intervention? Like, what did you have an Entenmann's crumb cake and say, will you write an album with me?
I love Entenmann's, first off.
Me too.
Really, it did fall into my lap a little bit because, I mean, she's a little biased, so she loves everything that I do. But as you know, to follow in the footsteps of my grandmother, who has set such a beautiful path for me, it's an honor to be collaborating with her. And truly, right when she contacted me, Early 20s Crisis was only my third song that I've ever written ever. I didn't get into songwriting until 2020 when I had a lot of time on my hands. So, and I needed an outlet. So I taught myself guitar and started songwriting. But to have my grandmother, who is a renowned playwright, a renowned lyricist, just truly an icon in the theater community, reach out to me, her humble little granddaughter, and say, I want to work with you because I believe in your talent and I believe in your skills and the message that you want to share. I felt incredibly honored. And I was just going to visit New York for a month and write with Grandma just for a couple songs. And then I never left. So, and now I am a full-time professional singer, songwriter, vocalist. Because
you with your own great litany of things. I mean, I love the Satin Dollz, and I love the things that you've gotten to do since you've been here. So you should be very proud of yourself. Welcome to New York. You're a New Yorker now.
Thank you. I never want to leave.
That's it. You're stuck. Grandma, she's staying forever.
And
so
now,
Now, the thing is that the fact that she had written that song, I heard that song, and suddenly it became the key to writing the whole show. When you were asking about where do the ideas and songs come, suddenly this song, Early 20s Crisis, I thought, wait a minute, that could be Early Teenage Crisis, and we could have a character, a young girl who's rebelling from her parents, who wants to go save these almost extinct animals and so forth. And I knew it had to be a fairy tale. So we just changed her song to Early Teenage Crisis instead. And it became the key to the show that we have written.
And the show is written and the album is out, and you can stream it right as we're speaking and get those tickets. Go get them. Go. So Gretchen, people will know you because I'm getting my act together and taking it on the road, and old friends and the things that you have done, Grammy nominations, Lifetime Achievement Awards, Dramatists Guild, board fancy schmuckety schmuck. Mm-hmm. Yes, come on. All of that said and done. You could say you've done it, and you put out the show, you put out the music, but the inspiration keeps coming.
Yeah, well, it does. The thing is that we really want to get this show out there, and this concert form might be a good way, because as you know, Robert, it takes 8 years to get a show on.
Or longer.
And the subject matter that we're talking about is very urgent right now.
Yes.
And so we're thinking this concert that we're going to do next Tuesday night is actually a good form. It really captures the show.
It's digestible. It's a great cast. It's a good amount of the show that you get the picture and the message.
And we're thinking maybe this concert could become somehow a fundraiser for climate change activists and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is as urgent as ever, as we literally have rolled back all of the environmental protection that is in this country, and we just continue to just nosedive into this catastrophe. I feel so strongly that the voice of artists and people who write and people who sing and people who act are the ones who are going to spread light that government and politicians can never do. So what you're doing is changing the future for us for sure. So thank you both for taking this on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is so kind. I mean, that is, we always say the least we can do is to use our gifts and our talents and our joy for music and songwriting and storytelling to bring hope and light to other people.
So Gracie, tell us who is on this album. You got some heavy hitter. You got some singing singers.
We got some singing singers. So we have Mother Earth is Angela Birchett. I think that's how I say her last name. Birchett. And I don't know if I can spoil this for you, but she just booked something big. So we have one of the biggest voices on Broadway on our album as Miss Mother Earth. And we have Tyley Ross, who is one of the most insane vocalists I've ever heard, and actors. And then we have McCorry Rose, who was just in the Wicked Part 1 movie.
Yep.
And who just has the voice of some unearthed angel, like none other as well. And then we have Gabriella Joy Rodriguez, who personally love her so much in life, and her voice is stunning and she sounds gorgeous. We have the Gretchen Cryer on there, and she sounds beautiful and gorgeous and never stops.
And we have Gracie Hyland.
Yes.
Doing her own songs.
Pretending to be a teenager on the track.
I do that all the time as well. Don't feel bad.
My little kid voice.
And the show on the 4th at Green Room is going to be, the cast is going to be there and do this.
Everyone but
Angela Birchett just booked Hell's Kitchen,
which is huge.
Extraordinary.
Huge.
And she had to go right into rehearsal this week. So she just called up and said, "Oh my God." So there we were,
scrambling,
trembling. But we found Aurelia Williams, who is fantastic, who's going to step in our concert for Angela. Angela's on the album.
She learned the material in like one day.
Yeah.
She
walked in and she already owns the material. It's amazing.
Really?
Oh, so this is going to be, they're going to blow the roof right off of the Green Room 42 with the voices that are going to be coming for you.
Now.
And also, I have to throw in a word for our musical arranger and the producer of our album, Jody Shelton. He is extraordinary. The arrangements, and he's got his best people doing the band. We got a wonderful
I feel so
band.
lucky to work with all of these artists. They're all phenomenal in their own right, but then when we bring it all together, it's just so powerful.
So is there 13 tracks on the album? Is that what it is?
13. Yeah.
And you know, all the cool kids are doing concept albums. This is how things happen.
Yes, that's what I said.
This is the way of the world now. It used to be you put on a show and then maybe you're lucky to put on an album. No, you got to get the album out
first.
The whole world can hear it. There's going to be somebody in Idaho or in Singapore that's going to find this and be inspired and be bringing it into their audition room, their book. They'll be singing your songs.
Won't that be fun?
To think about.
Gretchen, when you hear people sing, if Michael Feinstein says, "I want to sing your song," or Betty Buckley says, "I want to sing your song," what is it like to write a song and then give it to another artist and hear their interpretation? Is it like a baby that you're giving away? Is it an honor? What does it feel like?
It really feels good because they want to do it and they're going to do it. They're going to make it their own, you know, and both Michael and Betty have done wonderful versions of our songs. So it feels good to me. I never feel like, oh, I don't know if I want that person to do it. I never feel that way.
That's the whole purpose of the song, is to just give it out to the world and then people receive it and interpret it the way that they want to. So I'm always impressed when I hear I hear her song in the wild and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know her. Like, I know her.
I know her. She wrote that. How is, now that she's sitting next to you, so it's going to be awkward to answer this question, but you're an artist and your grandmother's an artist, your family is full of artists. What inspiration growing up did you see in her work ethic that you've taken into your own art?
I think something that I really take from my grandmother is that she is so fierce in everything that she does, and she's unapologetically herself in every situation. What inspires me the most, though, is the space that she creates for other artists. this home, this apartment, some magical things have happened in this very apartment. From Sondheim playing his latest works, from Stephen Schwartz breaking one of the keys off of the piano while he was playing one time. Like, this is such a safe space for artists in, you know, this harsh community. Sometimes it can be so difficult to share your work and vulnerable. And that is what I take from my grandmother, is that she creates that space for other artists to create. And in doing so, she creates beautiful art. So that is something that I feel so privileged and blessed to have grown up around, is having my parents, who are singer-songwriters as well and musicians, fully support me, and my grandmother and my uncle. Like, everyone truly holds such a dear space for other artists. And that is my biggest inspiration from her.
Well, I've learned two things from this conversation so far. A, let other people sing your songs so that you can get a royalty check in the mail. You didn't say that, but I took that. B, Gretchen Cryer's house was the place to go to for a party. That's what I learned.
Place to be. I'll make the charcuterie board. We'll get the wine.
That happens all the time. We have such wonderful people doing their work in our living room.
We host little salons and showcases.
A lot of solo
open
artists.
mics. Yeah.
So, Grandma Gretchen, what did you? That's what I'm calling now.
Go ahead, Gigi.
I call her Gigi.
Oh, Gigi, I love that, because my dad is Greg. And my brother just had a baby, so I've been calling him Gigi because Grandpa Greg. So I love that. Gigi.
I'm Gigi, yes.
What have you learned working now with your granddaughter, and what has she taught you? What have you learned from Gracie about art and creating?
Well, Gracie is one of the most, she's strong and fierce. And this girl is strong. I mean, she's going to haul furniture around and stuff. So, but it's very interesting, the generational difference. She has skills that I do not have, and stuff that she can do really fast, creatively, because she knows how to put stuff together. She goes and records a whole song in 2 hours someplace with and her facility at being an artist is so amazing to me. Her ability to navigate the tech world right now, which I cannot do that. But she can. And I mean, when we were going to be with you today, she helped press the right buttons, to get that going.
I'll add it to the resume.
Yeah. But also her work ethic is just so amazing. She's working all the time, coming up with an idea of a song. She's sitting on her bed with her guitar and starting to do something. And then it's going to get recorded next week. She's going to go into the studio with this guy and they'll do it, So it's been wonderful to see how the generational difference actually facilitates her art.
Yes, I understand. I feel I get it. I'm 41, and I remember going in the recording studio at 17 and 18 and putting things on tape, slicing things. And
God. And it took forever. And there were 24 tracks, and you'd be
now when people go in and say
she has a finished product.
I know. I'll just slice this and blend this and cut things. And I don't know what you all are doing, but you're all wizards and witches and magic. So Gracie, is there plans for, we're ready for the Gracie debut solo full-length album?
I am working on an EP right now. And so far I have 4 songs tracked, and I think I'm going to do 2 more. So I'll say this now so I can hold myself accountable. I'm hoping to release it in April.
Wow.
Really?
See, I'm talking about that. Quick.
That's the hope, to release a 5 to 6 song EP in April and just finally have that out there.
Well, let's do it. Let's put it out there.
Do it.
Let's do it. So can we follow you and can we stay up to date on what you're doing?
Yes, I'm on Instagram, mostly just Instagram. I don't want to do a whole like TikTok and everything. But I'm Gracie Lou Land on Instagram.
And we'll put it below so that in the link in the bio and all the information that we have below about where to find the album and where to get the tickets, you can see it, and we'll make sure we log that for you. Gretchen, what do you do? Like, what is, you got this album out, the concert's coming. Are we going to hear new Gretchen Cryer music too after this?
Who knows? I don't know. I'm not stopping.
She's been performing too.
Oh yeah, I've been performing. David Shire and Richard Maltby have a new review called About Time. And
it's so good. And I'm
in this review.
So where can we find out more information about that, or where you do it, or what's the scoop? Give us the whole story.
We just did some industry presentations a month or two ago, and we don't know what the future of that show is, but it's so exciting because I worked with Richard and David for years, decades ago. I was in their second musical at Yale University because I was there married to a Yale student.
That's why.
Yale, back at Yale.
That's why she writes songs, because she's got
that Ivy League.
Yes, I do.
That's where all the crazies parties are. I know about that.
I was a wife to an Ivy Leaguer back then. And they had no women at Yale at that point in the undergraduate school. So they had to go out into the field and get the wives of the graduate students.
And you were in the field and he found you.
Yes. I auditioned for them and they instantly gave me the lead in their musical.
And you didn't marry them, but you got married to someone that was at Yale. They were at Yale.
They were at Yale. My husband was at the Yale Divinity School. He was going to be a minister. I was thinking I was a minister's wife.
Yes.
But I just auditioned for this Yale show and I got the lead. And my life changed.
Literally.
Well, that's because also my husband decided he didn't want to be a minister and decided to go into show business instead.
That's the pipeline.
It's the same thing. It's all of something.
It's performative,
I think you both. I can't wait. I want the Gretchen Cryer memoir. I want the whole.
Me too. Well, someone's making a documentary on her.
Yeah, they're following us around. They were following us around the other day
with their little gimbal.
Yeah, as we were going down to our rehearsal for this show on Tuesday night, the guy was filming us, and he was filming us on the subway when a woman came by going, "I'm 3 months pregnant." And this just cut right in between. He was
that's New York life.
He was showing the life that we live as we're going to rehearse for our show.
See, everyone knows how glamorous it is.
Hopefully.
Can't you tell? That's the life in showbiz. That's glamour and glitz of New York City.
Yeah,
that's New York. I'm excited. I'm going to spend my night. I'm going to listen to your album. It's out wherever you listen to things. So please make sure that you listen to it. I'm going to stream The House of Fire. It is. Just get it. Just find it. Just play it.
You could come too, because in the show that we do on Tuesday night, there are bits of dialogue and stuff in there which aren't on the album. Mm-hmm. Oh, there are a few lines, but you get even more of the show on Tuesday night.
And if you go to Broadway World, which we partner with here on the Roundtable, you can hear Early Teenage Crisis. It was released there exclusively, but we also want you to make sure you stream the whole thing from beginning to end because they put this whole story together. So don't just listen to the single. Take a moment and listen to the whole piece and get the full brevity and breadth of what you're doing. Hear all the voices and all of the things that are being done. And I thank you so much, Gigi, for a lifetime of work. And for everything that you've done and all the music and the theater and that you've shared with us. And we are so excited, Gracie, for all of the work that's to come for the EP. And I hope when your album comes out, you reach out and we can have you back on and chit chat all about it.
Oh, thank you, Robert. You're so sweet.
What was it like to do reality TV?
Oh my goodness. Very, very different from what I'm used to. I've never been in front of cameras like that. But I had the best time, and I made an amazing, weird family out of it. But it's true. Like the cameras are on you at all times, and you're just living.
And you don't have any word on what's edited, what stays in, what stays out, what they make it look like.
Well, they definitely edit everyone to be a certain character in the show. So they edited some things out and they edited some things in, I'll tell you. And they would tell us to say certain things sometimes.
Okay, I get it.
But that's the fun of reality.
It makes good TV. So it's a fun show, everybody. If you want to check it out,
fun.
It's very fun to guess who everybody is related to, and it's super fun to see the story and how it all ties together at the end. I love it. Listen,
it was so good. I mean, honestly, I couldn't do it again, but I would do it again. If
maybe there's another reality show. Maybe you'll be a Real Housewife of New York. Who knows?
Maybe I will be.
She had to pretend. I mean, her image that she wanted to put forth was as a Southern country singer, so that no one would suggest who her claim to fame was. So a lot of people thought, oh, she's related to Reba McEntire or something, because and she played on the talent show night. She played the guitar and sang kind of country, It was an original song that I turned into like a twangy country song. In order to mislead people as to who her claim to fame was.
So you're not related to Reba McEntire?
No, unfortunately I'm not. I really do wish I was, though. She's got really nice hair.
Well, I had so much fun with you all, and I hope you all come back. You could bring Uncle John on too, and and we'll have a big old party. Thank you. I'm so excited for you. I hope everybody gets your tickets. Your show's going to sell out. It's going to be a smash hit, and House on Fire is going to be something that's going to live on forever. Congratulations. Thank you all for being here, and I'm so grateful to spend some time with you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to go live some life so I can write some songs. Hey.
Write some songs.